Good evening. A former police detective from Birmingham has been jailed for passing information onto a convicted criminal. The officer, who'd been with the force for more than 12 years, was sacked and sentenced to 28 months in prison. Stacey Foster reports.
This trusted detective is now getting a taste of life behind bars. 31-year-old Daniel Watts is paying the ultimate price for fraternising with the enemy. Detective Watts was based here at Lloyd House in the centre of Birmingham, and it was inside this building that he carried out a number of checks on the police computers. He then passed information about planned police raids and arrests onto a local drug dealer. That drug dealer was 33-year-old Stephen Hunt. The court was told that Hunt asked Watts to gather information from the police computer about him and his criminal associates. The first check was made in April 2005.
There's then a gap of a number of years, but then we start to see some increased activity. Whether that check back in 2005 was a test to see what he could access or how he would access that, what he would do with that information. What
it led to was weekly searches on people and police activity. But when a mobile phone was found during a police raid in Northfield, a text message on that phone about the raid was eventually traced to Watts.
We arrested him. He'd been a serving officer around about 12 years. In that role, he did have access to a lot of information, a lot of intelligence. He's lost his career, he's lost his livelihood, he's lost his reputation, such as it was, and he's very likely to be losing his pension as well.
Daniel Watts began his jail term in October, but police are only able to tell us about it now because his criminal accomplice Stephen Hunt has been found guilty. He was sentenced to 28 months for his involvement, but also a further 10 years for drug dealing. Cases like this are rare. Out of nearly 9,000 officers, 19 have been sacked in the last 20 months, but only a small number for corruption. But tonight, one of their own, Daniel Watts, is in his prison cell, like so many of the criminals he once helped to catch, and the one he tried to help. Stacey Foster, ITV News, Birmingham.
Police are investigating the death of a woman at a block of flats in Birmingham. Officers were called to the Century Tower in Edgbaston just before 5:30 this morning. They found a woman in her 50s collapsed on a bedroom floor. She was later pronounced dead. The death is being treated as unexplained. A recent inspection of the Good Hope Hospital in Sutton Coldfield has found some patients were ignored by staff. Inspectors reported delays in A&E, patients waiting on trolleys and equipment checks not being carried out. However, the Care Quality Commission also noted staff were caring and kind and praised their end-of-life care. The hospital's chief executive says he fully accepts the findings and says the trust is working hard to continually improve the quality of care. Police have arrested the comedian and entertainer Freddie Starr over a further allegation made in relation to Operation U-Tree, a sexual abuse investigation. Mr Starr, who lives in Warwickshire, was previously arrested in November 2012 on suspicion of sexual offences that relate to the Savile and others part of the investigation. Twycross Zoo's chief executive says chimps should never have been used in television adverts for PG tips. Apes from the zoo were used for the filming from the 1970s. Keepers have since found it has negatively affected the behaviour of the chimps. Unilever, which owns the PG Tips brand, says it hasn't featured real apes for more than a decade.
It ruins them for the rest of their lives just to have those few moments or few months of excitement so they can be used in TV work. After that, they have problems being chimps and integrating with the rest of their families. They find it difficult to be chimps when they've been reared with people. It's very cute and cuddly early on in their lives, but then they haven't learned normal chimp etiquette.
The new man in charge of HS2 started work today with a promise that the high-speed rail link from Birmingham to London can be delivered on time and on budget. Sir David Higgins said he's aware of the widespread opposition to the £50 billion project, but insists it's the best way to boost jobs and growth across the region. Alison Mackenzie reports.
The government is hoping for some Olympic magic as it pushes ahead with plans for HS2. The man now in charge, here on the right, helped deliver the summer 2012 London Olympic Games. Today at a railway depot in North London, eyeing up the challenge ahead to deliver high-speed rail from London to Birmingham and beyond.
Well, the challenge as always is to make sure that we can gain public confidence, political support, that this project is something that will be delivered in terms of cost, that there's no concern that costs will overrun, and that the project can be delivered earlier than in the current programme. So 2033 is a long way away. Can we deliver that earlier, particularly to the northern cities where connectivity is crucial for economic development?
Also announced today plans for a new college to train the next generation of engineers to work on the building of HS2. 2,000 apprentices during the lifetime of the project, although Labour say that's too few. There is all-party support for HS2, but before a piece of track can be laid, it'll have to go through Parliament in what's known as a hybrid bill. It's a lengthy, tortuous affair. All the opposition can be heard, but it may not even get through before the next general election. So expect to see the protesters' white elephant and loud opposition for many more months to come. Alison Mackenzie, ITV News, Westminster.
In the FA Cup tonight, Kidderminster Harriers pulled off a major shock. The conference side won 3-2 at League One Peterborough. It means Harriers will play Premier League side Sunderland in the fourth round. There were wins also for Birmingham and Port Vale, but Burton lost 4-1. Now let's get the weather from Lucy.
Hello, I hope you've had a lovely day. We've got more rain in the forecast as we head through the next few days, and it's going to be quite breezy as well. As we speak, this rain that's been moving in from the west all day is making its way eastwards. Gradually it's going to clear through the region and move off into the North Sea, but still some heavy bursts to come as we head through the next couple of hours. Temperatures dipping to 2 or 3 degrees Celsius overnight tonight, so quite a chilly one. And then by tomorrow morning, well, mostly dry first thing, but in complete contrast to this morning, lots of grey cloud around, so a bit of a grey murky start to the day, and the cloud thick enough to just produce 1 or 2 showers as we head through the morning, and then a more organised band of showers will creep in the afternoon, and they're likely to be quite heavy as well. But despite all that, feeling a little bit milder than today. I'll see you then. Bye for now.
And that's all we've got time for tonight. There are updates on our stories on the website at itv.com/central. We're back tomorrow morning within daybreak, but for now, from the late team, good night.